because I'm going to put a lot of money into Cade Cunningham. I know long-term the value isn't going to be there, but I'm just excited because the number one pick, Detroit Piston, and I can't wait to prospect on Cade Cunningham.
Okay, I have no clue who that is.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 11 of Hobby Update. My name is Max. You can find me on Instagram at Putnam Cards. I'm with my good friend here, aka my lifelong partner, Shai at Shayway Vlogs. Shai, how are we doing today?
Hallo, willkommen zum Hobby Update. Hallo, willkommen zum Hobby Update.
Sir, I didn't understand that. What was that?
¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. Welcome to Hobby Update, ladies and gentlemen. That's just a German way of saying welcome to Hobby Update. Thank you for joining us. The reason for me using this is because we actually have listeners all around the world. Max, tell them how many listeners we have all around the world.
I mean, we're up around like 1,000 people an episode through all different streams, audio and video. If you had told me a year ago I would have a podcast, 1,000 people are listening to what I have to say, I would have said that you're on another planet.
It's absolutely, guys, bottom line, thank you so much for the listens, the subscribers, and the support. We've seen extreme growth over the last 10 episodes here. We are beyond thrilled. We bow down to our viewers, our listeners, the repost. But enough of you guys. Let's get the show started.
All right. Starting off as usual with card of the day. I will start us off here. I have a 1989 Converse Magic Johnson PSA 10 card here. Converse, the official shoe of the NBA, it says. The back is kind of cool. It's got like the Converse logo and some other logo, but yeah, just a cool card here. Pop 41. I just like cards that have a lot of culture wrapped into it, so this would fall into that category.
Great choice. That's not Magic's rookie or anything?
No,
right?
No.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. Yeah, interesting. Okay, nice card of the day. Little Lakers love. My card of the day is Kobe Bryant 2012 Prism Green. The pop actually is it's a BGS 9.5, and the pop is what is it? It's 11. So bottom line, 2012 Prism. I think the 2012 Prism made our list, as a very important set in the hobby. If you can go back and check that. But we have a Kobe Bryant version here. It's a retail exclusive, and this is one of the OG Prism cards from the inaugural year that the color scheme the lineage is still here till today. Because we all know we have the base, the silver, the green, and obviously the gold, which,
2012, we had 3 Prism parallels in 2012.
I know.
How many do we have today? Over 50?
Oh, God, don't even get me started. I can't name them.
All right, but I mean, obviously 2012 Prism, one of the most elite hobby releases in history, in my opinion. The nature of the brand is obviously well understood at this point. It's a monster Prism. The first year, Kobe Bryant, green, low pop. That's my kind of card right there.
Yeah, that's a card that I'm not interested about comps. Like, I don't care if it's available. I just want one. I have it. It's being stored away, and I'm just gonna enjoy it whenever I please.
That's how it should be done. All right, now I'm told. Well, you told me that you want to start us off with a short little rant here. Something's grinding your gears. So get this out. This is your rant forum.
All right, so I don't know. Last week's disaster of 5-5 was a disaster. Obviously, we apologize for that. But this week we like to invent new segments in Hobby Update. But anyways, rant of the day. You know what I mean? random rants, and we want to get the viewers involved eventually. We'll post something, and then you can tell us your pet peeves and stuff. But my pet peeve is if I'm buying a raw card and there's only a picture of the front, especially a raw card over $500. You know what I mean? I need to see the back, bro. Like, why? Why is the second photo the logo of the brand, that the house that's selling it? Shout out to Propstein and shout out to Breakers Row. They're the king of that. But yeah, I really don't like that. Yeah, that's my rant of the day. Very quick, very informal, and like that's it.
I mean, if you have a raw card on eBay, any seller, and you don't post a picture of the back, it means one of two things. Either you're a lazy motherfucker, or there's something wrong with the back of the card. So just I know it's a painful couple more seconds, take a picture of the back and upload a picture of the back, but it really helps out the seller. And quite frankly, it should be just a given that you post a picture of the back of the card.
Exactly. Everybody wins. I'm telling you, if you're selling a card, the more pictures you have, the less problems you'll have. Nobody likes problems in this world. You know what I mean? No, less returns of a headache. Just be honest with the card. That's it. Stop trying to hide stuff. That's it. Just be honest.
Yep. Okay. End rant. Now today we have a unique episode, which we're going to be talking about our kind of histories in the hobby a little bit. We're going to go through the years starting in 2008. And we're going to kind of use each draft class to talk about where we were in the hobby at that point in time. Now, Shai was in the hobby 2012. That was a big year for him in the hobby. Then he kind of got back in 2018 in the hobby, 2019, 2020. Those are his years. So he's going to be doing a lot of talking there. I'm going to be doing a lot of talking in every other year because I've always been in the hobby. Unlike Shai, this guy comes in and out. He comes in when it's hot, out when it's not. Who knows? Maybe this guy, the podcast will be over in a month. He's just going to decide that this is not for him. But we will see him back in 2025 when the Jordan Fleer is over $1 million. Ooh. So, okay, I guess we'll start with 2008. That was the first year that I got into the hobby. The draft class, Derrick Rose, Michael Beasley, OJ Mayo, Kevin Love, Westbrook, Eric Gordon, Brooke Lopez. Those were all big names in that draft class. Derrick Rose obviously being the number one guy. I remember I opened up a box of co-signers from that year, and I pulled the best card you could possibly get, which was a Derrick Rose, Michael Beasley dual autograph out of 49. And that was like my ultimate grail at the time. But after that year, Panini got the license. And there was no more co-signers. And instead, Panini took over and they introduced a whole new line of products. Now, a quick word from our first official sponsor. This episode of Hobby Update is sponsored by Apple AirPods, delivering an unparalleled listening experience. Every model connects effortlessly and packs rich, high-quality sound into an innovative wireless design. These Apple AirPods are great for recording podcasts just like this one, and if you've been listening to this podcast so far, you realize that Shai does not have Apple AirPods, and therefore you can hear my voice echoing in his background. So Shai, please go get a pair of AirPods. Thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled podcast. So Panini gets a license. 2009-10, Blake Griffin, he was the number one overall pick. Now, he was injured the whole first season, so he was out of contention for Rookie of the Year. Now, in that same draft class was a guy named James Harden, a guy named Steph Curry, a guy named Brandon Jennings, Ricky Rubio, and the Rookie of the Year of all those guys was Tyreke Evans.
Who is that?
Who is that? He was drafted by the Kings. I believe he was the number 4th overall pick. He is now out of the NBA, I believe, because of drugs. I think so. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Need to know. Very important.
What was that?
We need to know what kind of drugs. Very important. Our viewers want to know.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not qualified to answer that question. I don't know the information. But bottom line is the Rookie of the Year that year with a draft class of Harden, Curry, DeRozan, all those guys was Tyreek Evans. And the other hot names that year were Rubio and Brandon Jennings. So that was an interesting year. I was loading up on Tyreek Evans. He was the hot commodity. Obviously, he was the wrong guy to load up on. The right answer would have been Curry or Harden. So that year was a tough go. The next year was...
touching on that. So you were already in the hobby in 2009. You were going there and you were what, prospecting? And
well,
for him?
Yeah. I mean, you're draft class to draft class. Who's the hot guy? I mean, I was 9, 10, 11 years old.
Did you do good?
No, I wasn't in for the money. I just wanted the hot guy.
All right, we got a true hobbyist here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I didn't expect. I mean, back then, like an RPA of the rookie of the year was a couple $100, and now it's a couple $1,000. So
yeah,
you know, times change. But yeah, bottom line is, so far the hot names were in my first years of collecting were Derrick Rose and Tyreek Evans. Two guys who long-term probably will not pan out as good investments if you were buying them at the time.
No, they're junk now. I'm sorry if anybody.
I think Derrick Rose's long-term legacy is still intact because he was kind of a unique case. I feel like he can be kind of like, now don't kill me because I wasn't alive at the time, but he could, in my mind, he can have a kind of like Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway kind of long-term legacy.
When it comes back to card prices, I'm sorry. Those, like, this is a card show towards the end of the day, and Tyreek Evans and Jennings and Rubio are irrelevant. So quick little summary of this is, you know, when you're prospecting, be careful. You know, take notes from Putnam. Ask Putnam about prospecting.
Hey, we're not done with this. We have so many more years to get through, so many busts, prospects. This is
just the beginning.
This is just the beginning. Okay, 2011, Blake Griffin. That was the year he went crazy. Blake Griffin cards went nuts. Like, I remember trying to get my hands on one of those Crown Royale on card autographs. That was like the dream card for me. I never got my hands on one. $200, $200 to $300. I'm pretty sure that's what that card was selling for, and that was a lot of money back then, for me at least. I know you picked up a big Blake Griffin card back then as well.
That was 2010, right? I probably picked up that Blake Griffin around 2012, maybe when like the thing died down. I bought a NT RPA for $420. I held it, and that was my first ever loss in the hobby, ladies and gentlemen. My first ever legitimate loss, and thankfully the loss was only a few $100s. As you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys are taking big losses. I know a lot of these dealers. I know them. They're taking big losses. But when we're all in pain together, it's okay. We can all
we suffer together.
Sob together, guys. Guys, all the big times, it's okay. We can all sob together. We know what we're going through.
There we go. But also in the year of Blake Griffin was John Wall, who was the #1 pick of that year. Evan Turner, the #2 pick. And you had Cousins, Gordon Hayward, and Paul George, but they kind of blossomed a year or two after that. John Wall and Evan Turner, I remember were the hot rookies that year. Obviously, those guys did not pan out either. 2011 was a very unique year because that was in the NBA lockout. You also had Kyrie coming in the league, Kemba Walker, Jimmer, Clay, Kawhi, Jimmy Butler, who didn't blossom until years later. But that was also the year of a time we remember as Linsanity.
Oh, God.
Shai.
New York. So the funniest part, I was in New York. I literally experienced Linsanity. And at that point, like, the Linsanity was, 2011, 2012, right? Wow, now that I think about it, speaking out loud right now for the first time, expressing Linsanity and what I went through, I think that's what brought me back into the hobby. You know, I give credit to Josh Carver Chronicles. I think it may be Linsanity because he was in New York. He was doing beyond like wild. He had a national. His big card was a horizontal card, and the main card was like a sticker auto, I believe. And I was debating spending $1,200, $1,500, and all that big time money. Luckily, I did not pull the trigger. So that's a lesson learned. don't buy into the hype. But in New York, Linsanity was absolutely like that's all everybody could talk about. So,
You know when like a guy goes off in a game, the most recent example would be Terrence Mann. You know, you go through all your closets, your drawers, your boxes to try to find anything you got of that one guy. Linsanity was the first time I remember doing that because this man turned into Michael Jordan for a hot couple weeks or a couple weeks worth of games. And I just remember going through all my boxes, like anything you can get. A prestige base rookie went from $1 to like 50 times that, like overnight, because of this one guy.
That's very interesting. This is actually whoever's listening, new people that are listening right now. You probably came in 2018 Luka year and all that, but we have here Max saying that he was in the hobby. And
hey, you gotta stop with the whole promoting Max being in the hobby for a while.
Okay, all right.
We get it. I'm going through year by year of what guys were hot guys. What was like?
No. There's a bigger point to this because I was not messing with this shit. You know what I mean? You were messing with this stuff, and the fact that you said that Linsanity cards you've seen go from like $1, $10, $100 to like multi-thousand. That shows the life of the hobby cycle. That's the bigger picture I'm trying to get people to understand. We're going through ups and downs now. We get it. Guess what? Max right here apparently experienced these ups and downs. I've never experienced a rookie card going from $1 to big numbers. I wasn't prospecting, but I'm very happy that I know this cycle existed way before I came in and you experienced it. That means that in the future, whoever's in the hobby, if you stick with it, there will be cycles. That means there will be opportunities. So that's the only thing I wanted to get out of this.
Okay. The thing with Linsanity is there's a direct comparison within the last 2 years of a Linsanity kind of moment. Can you read my mind?
Who's wilding out in an Linsanity type of moment? Who is this comparison you're talking about?
My man, Bull.
God, I think we just the viewership drop off.
The viewership dropped? Oh no.
Yeah, it's gonna drop off. But go on. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but bottom line is Bull. Now Jeremy Lin was doing this in a real regular season game. Bull was balling out in an exhibition Disneyland bubble type of game. Disney World, sorry. So not exactly the same, but it was the same kind of reaction. Bull cards went from 0 to 100 real quick for a hot sec, and then obviously they're back down to reality. But same kind of thing. After that NBA lockout, 2012, Shai, what happened in 2012? What revolutionary product came along?
2012 was Nat Turner's you know me, I love dropping names, man. I'm sorry, guys. I just love dropping names, man. Okay. Anyways, favorite product Nat Turner's 2012 Prism came out. Nobody wanted that shit. The first ever chromium product that basically right now looking back we can say, because 2020 hindsight vision, all that, whatever that saying is this is the replacement of Topps Chrome. That's what came out, and that's when I went into the hobby a lot stronger. And guess what? I did not care. I didn't even know what 2012 Prism was. So
I'm just curious, like what got you into the hobby at that point? Like was it 2012 Prism, or like was there anything special going on that year for you?
Yeah, so basically my personal life, I had an online drop shipping business, right? So I was online a lot. So one day I kind of just went on eBay and I was like, wait, basketball cards. I kind of like, let me just see what was going on. It was something I collected when I was a kid, right? And by the way, I told this little story on Luka Tiger Bronze pod. I know we're promoting another pod, but fuck it, But anyway, so that time I went online and I was like, yo, Kobe Bryant, I remember I seeing a platinum portrait or a Jordan something, blah, blah, blah. And I typed these things on. So when I was a kid, at 97, 98, like these cards were like $200-$300. And there's no way I could afford that. I was a little kid buying $1 pack that I had to save, you know what I mean? Like my lunch money to buy this type of stuff. And now I checked the card I saw a long time ago when I was a kid that was 100, 200 is worth maybe 800, 900. I was like, okay, interesting, interesting. I start searching a few more. Interesting, interesting. I luckily I had some disposable income, dumped it all in. I just went crazy a little bit. And honestly, I spent maybe around maybe what $8,000 to $10,000 around like 2012 to 2013, and just bought a whole bunch of like random, not random. Like I knew, like okay, like these new people getting the hobby. What do I buy? What the hell did I get? What did I buy? I literally bought just not LeBron, just Jordans and Kobe's. You know what I mean? LeBron, I very like not that big, but that's what I grew up on. I remember Jordan, I remember Kobe. That's why I have like, this Kobe collection right now. Literally came from my childhood. So 2012, I went all in. I spent that much money, and then I kind of like left it in a shoebox. I swear.
Hey, 10 grand, spending 8 to 10 grand in 2012. That's a lot of money, but that you could, I mean, you did some damage with that amount of money back then.
I did. You know what I mean? I went in. I was fortunate enough to just buy these things at that moment, and no matter what, I just wanted those cards. I was like, fuck it. There's many people in this hobby right now that, like they get a lot more successful, like later on in life, and they just want to kill that craving that they had when they were a kid. Like that craving, like, damn man, like that kid had it. I didn't have that money and I really wanted it. And my friend gets that card. You know what I mean? It's like $300. Like you come out there, even if it was 30,000, you'd be like, fuck it. It's a revenge thing.
Damn, Daniel, back at it again with the white refractors. Sorry, if you get the reference, you get it.
I don't. So hopefully somebody gets it.
That's okay. People will get it. It'll be a selected look. If you got that reference, DM me, so we have a tally of who got the reference.
Please. Like Max's humor is so interesting compared to mine's. That's why I think this is just a cringe nation episode. And
damn, Shai, back at it again with the black T-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
I do, but anyways, so I bought a bunch of shit. I put it in my shoebox, and then fast forward to, I don't want to go through the list, but 2018 is when I rechecked what the hell I bought. That's when I was knee deep in the hobby, and here we are now. But we want to stick to the schedule.
So I also want to correct myself, because earlier I said 2012 Prism was revolutionary. It was, but not at the time. 2012 Prism came out, like, it wasn't a big deal. Like very few people were like collecting 2012 Prism due to it being 2012 Prism. Like I remember you ordered a box from Blowout Cards, a pack of 2012 Prism was $4. And I'm pretty sure maybe one time they just gave me a pack of 2012 Prism like for free as like an add-in for an order or something like that. 2012 Prism was just not a big deal back in the day at all. And now it is. So it's kind of just a cool story.
That's what makes collecting more interesting. Like one of my favorite Kobe cards is a card that came from a set nobody cared about. You know what I mean? And I love those stories. Like that's twice it repeated. It was basically the 98, the hoops. They had two of the biggest cards in the hobby that for the 90s set, which is the high voltage 500 and the BAMs and the slam BAMs. So those were some of the most iconic cards, and it came from a set nobody gave a rat's ass about because it was too much. But they had these secret ass serial numbered refractor type beautiful pieces and these junk ass. I don't know if you know Toys R Us. There's KB Toys, all these little toy stores. They had them there, and nobody wanted it. And a lot of them were discarded, and now they're like, oh my god. That's why maybe the 2012 Prism, similar type-ish story. Discarded, nobody cared. Now a gold 2012 Prism, the holy grail. Like it was number 3.
It's crazy. All right, but moving on. 2012, 2013 draft class. Anthony Davis was the headliner. Obviously, he kind of worked out. He's a top 10 NBA player. He really hasn't disappointed, I wouldn't say, if you were buying him back then. But the guy right behind him was Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Now, you haven't heard Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's name. I can't even say it. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. You haven't heard that name in 5 years?
No.
At least ever? Have you ever heard the name?
That I would lose in a pop trivia game. You would just murder me right now. Nope.
All right, but moving on. Next year was a very odd draft class, 2013. You had Giannis, but Giannis was like like right towards the back end of the lottery, and he was a total project. He was just bones. He was just a body, lanky body with bones. But the two, I'll say the three guys who were kind of hot that year were Anthony Bennett, who was the #1 pick, maybe one of the bigger busts in NBA history. Victor Oladipo, who has had a nice career, but not really going to be there long term in terms of value. And Nerlens Noel, who was very hyped coming out of Kentucky. He was a hot commodity back then as well. Those three guys are not super popular these days in the hobby.
Oladipo has a little bit of buzz. I think, is he in the Pacers now?
I think he's on the Heat.
Was he in the Pacers?
Yes, he was on the Pacers, yeah.
Okay. Why I say that? Shout out, damn, I'm giving to it. Shout out to Wax Museum podcast. I actually love that dude. He's a big Indiana Pacers fan. He just started following. I was following him for a while. Finally, freaking followed me back. But he's probably listening to this now. But I love his content. But no, you know what I mean. Whatever. Anyway, enough of him. Enough of his shit. What do you mean? All we have is Giannis. I didn't care about any of these people today. Unfortunately, I don't care. I still don't care about any of these people.
But there was serious money going around on these guys. Like,
so
now they're worth nothing.
So you tell me, you were in this hobby. You know these players. Like,
I was picking up Anthony Bennett autos, Oladipo autos, Nerlens. Like, I remember picking up cards of these guys. Being like, all right, these guys have a lot of potential. Like, maybe they'll click. Like one day, didn't work out. The next year wasn't any better, really.
So when you bought them, definitely, did you see an increase in the price? Was there the hobby?
I mean, it wasn't as reactionary for sure as it is now, but there was still like all the guys were hyped up. They were all selling for numbers like relative to what they should be, and
and then it dropped.
And then it dropped, yeah. But the year after was 2014. I ripped a lot of Prism in 2014. I love 2014 Prism. 2014-15. That was Wiggins. Wiggins coming out of college now. This guy, like people called like if you go to basketballreference.com, I'm sure you're familiar with the website, and you type in Andrew Wiggins and you look at his nicknames, one of his nicknames is Maple Jordan.
Why?
He was hyped as Maple Jordan his rookie year.
Okay, what is Maple Jordan?
Like Maple is in Canada.
Okay, and then Michael Jordan?
Yes. So like the Canadian Michael Jordan. That's what he was hyped as. And he was just the shit. Like you were opening 2014 Prism, any 2014 product, just trying to get any Wiggins. Like I wouldn't say it was on the same scale as Zion because the hype of the whole hobby wasn't the same in 2014, but it was that level of a chase. The #2 pick that year was Jabari Parker. We know his career was fared. I can't even tell you what team he's on now. And then you had Embiid and Zach LaVine and Julius Randle a little bit after those guys. But the two chases were Wiggins and Jabari Parker. Those guys, in terms of an investment, have not worked out.
All I'm going to say, I just hope Wiggins somehow is in the hobby and collecting Wigglypuff. It's a big Pokemon. It rhymes. It goes together. Wiggins and Wigglypuff. You're not laughing, but a Pokemon head out there is going to be LOLing real loud right now.
Okay, well, I'm most definitely not a Pokemon guy, but whoever does understand that reference.
Cute, it's Wigglypuff. Who doesn't
Wigglypuff, sure. Big Wigglypuff guy. This Putnam cards, Wigglypuff, they go together. All right, now I'm going to next year, 2015, Karl-Anthony Towns, or Kristaps Porzingis, two guys who are good players. Cat obviously much better than Porzingis right now, but still long term, not sure the value is going to be there. 2016, Ben Simmons, he was hyped as the next LeBron.
Was it?
At the time, I'm telling you, these guys were hyped like you wouldn't believe. Ben Simmons now didn't sign with Panini. So his big card, like when Prism came out that year, the Ben Simmons Prism base and Prism Silver, those were huge cards. because he didn't have any autos. So I remember buying a few of those. Those investments didn't work out. That year, obviously, Ingram, Jaylen Brown, Buddy Hield, Jamal Murray, Siakam, but those guys didn't have nearly the hype as Ben Simmons.
Wait, did you lose money in Ben Simmons?
Yeah, I mean, not anything like huge, but
So how
the
much
cards
have you lost in this prospecting shit? Look, guys,
I've lost more money than I've made, without a doubt.
This is what we want. We want the freaking truth here, man. So prospecting, okay, just roughly so far what we've been through and your disaster track record in the hobby, have you made, was this profitable? Prospecting, do you recommend it? What are your thoughts?
Do I recommend it?
Yeah.
If you have the stomach for it and you have the budget and you really believe in a guy,
go for it.
And you have the conviction, then go for it. But just know that it's highly risky.
Right. Okay.
Like 9 times out of 10, it probably is not going to work out long term.
Okay. So there's the answer.
There's that. So then you get past Simmons. 2016 was the year I remember Prism really kind of took over, because again, with Simmons not signing with Panini, his Prism card was a big deal. Then you had the next couple years. Obviously, this is when the hobby kind of started picking up steam here. 2017-18, Fultz was the #1 pick. LOL. Yeah, Lonzo Ball was really hot. Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, also big names that year. Dennis Smith Jr., his cards are selling kind of well. But really from that year, Mitchell and Tatum have kind of taken over for that year. But at the time, I bought Alonzo Ball, Emergent Gold Prism rookie out of 10.
Okay.
For a couple $100. This is freshman year in college. I did not make money on that card. I'll just leave it there.
Emergent Gold out of 10?
Yes.
The insert.
Did not make money on that.
Okay, cool.
Because I thought, look, like Lonzo Ball's hot. I pick up a nice rare card of his, Gold Prism. Maybe I'll do, how can you go wrong with that? It's out of Gold Prism.
Well, yeah. Look, I'm asking you that now. Like, it sounds like,
I don't know, bro. I think I was just maybe an idiot and I just bought it way too high or something like that. But that was my experience with Lonzo Ball investing.
Wow, I didn't touch any of these players. So far, you've been just saying.
Just L after L after L. Just shit on constantly through the years. And I'm still here. Yeah. I'm still fucking here.
Yeah. Somehow.
All right. 2018, obviously, Luka, Trey, the hobby goes nuts. Berserk. But then you have all these other guys whose cards are still selling for a lot of money, Shai. Like Jaren Jackson, Sexton, both of the Bridges, Michael Porter Jr., like Ayton. Ayton looks kind of good now, but there's still a lot of money in these guys. And like, if you look at the history, it's not going to work out.
So here's the thing. I want to play devil's advocate here.
Okay, here we go. Devil's advocate.
You gave me examples of what, 6 years so far? No, 10 years almost. I'm sorry.
Back to 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
10 years.
10 years of history of just disasters, right? But what did 2018 happen? Like, we put 2018 Prism Luka Doncic as our number 10.
I didn't say Luka's not going to work out. Luka and Trey are on a different level.
Just hobby history of what it did. You know what I mean? Because you just said there's a lot of big money still in these names you dropped, right? And your history, based on your experience, you just said that chances are these are going to drop, right? Like, unfortunately, it sucks. Like, it's sad, but that's just history, right? Sorry for the thunderstorms in the back. It's a wild night. But anyways, so the hobby changed a lot in 2018. You know what I mean? Like, it really changed a lot. Like, I went in, I was doing things in the hobby I would never do in a million years. And I know so many other people are opening ton of wax. Like, I would never thought I was going to do that. You know what I mean? Grading cards and all that. Never thought. I was scared shitless to send cards in to get graded. So, like, it changed the psychology of, like, a lot of people coming into the market for whatever, many reasons. We don't even have to get into it. So 2018 is big because for those reasons, that's why there's still, like you just said, some sort of big money into a lot of these players.
Yeah, that's true. But even you look at 2019, you have Zion, Ja. Okay. Now, those two guys aren't even locks long term. You look at the Derrick Rose. You look at the Blake Griffin. You look at the John Wall. You look at all these guys. It's not a lock. It's not a guarantee. And there's so much money. It scares me. But aside from those two guys, you have RJ, Kobe White, Hero, DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, all these guys. And there's still money in them.
The fact you said that, look, somebody posted this on your story, man. I wish whoever's listening, I hope you know so you can even correct me. Trey is way better than Luka based on performance, but the big money is in Luka. They won't let Trey get the big card prices. Like,
who are you going to take? Who are you going to take? You have
the big dogs will protect Luka prices.
Yes, I kind of agree with that. But who are you taking for the next decade, Luka or Trey?
Unfortunately, I'm not being biased towards big money, but I just like Luka overall as a player. You know what I mean?
So do I.
So, okay, so then big money's right. Again, smart money always wins, man.
Now, this podcast, I'm going to come across as this hater guy who's just salty because he never gets in early on prospects anymore. And he can't take risks because he's been through a decade of just fat L's just over and over again. And if I come off across like that, I apologize. I'm just trying to put things in a perspective because I just know not all these guys are going to pan out. Come year 4, year 5, some of their cards are going to go to zero. Maybe not to zero, but they're not going to be worth what they are today. So I just want people to have this perspective. That's all I'm trying to do here.
No, I like that. You're being real. Like, dude, you've been buying prospects for 10 years, nothing yet, but you're somehow still in the hobby and you got a couple of nice cards here and there.
I mean, now all I do is 3 guys with Matt, with a couple other guys, but mostly Kobe, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, because that's just where I'm at. That's what I feel comfortable doing. So
you're just done prospecting. Wait,
I'm just done.
Wait,
I will say last thing, but sorry to cut you off.
No, go.
Anthony Edwards, if he was 2 or 3 inches taller, he'd be a guy that I'd be putting money into.
Okay, I was just gonna get into that. Are you still low key prospecting, but you're turned off because you had 10 L's? Wait, did you ever have a win?
Yes, I had 2 wins.
Okay.
Two, yeah, but this 2 out of what, 10, 15?
Tell me your
but
win.
I put a decent amount of money. You know Spencer Dinwiddie on Brooklyn?
Dinwiddie? Oh, wait, Dinwiddie. Yeah.
Dinwiddie. So he was a Pistons 2nd-round pick. I'm a Pistons guy, obviously. Future owner of the Detroit Pistons, low-key. Keep it low-key. Spencer Dinwiddie, I was just buying his cards for nothing in 2014 because he was a Pistons guy. And it actually worked out. Now, it's not the craziest investment ever, but I bought his cards for cheap and I sold them for way more than I got them for. Another one, Devin Booker. Now I'm going to put an image on the screen right now in post-production. I had a disgusting Devin Booker collection as a 16-year-old. Disgusting. It was great. If I had only held on to those cards, I would have an insane ROI. And so Devin Booker was my guy. He was probably my biggest win ever, but I sold too early.
Wait, you gotta at least tell me your top 3. You say disgusting.
What I mean disgusting, I mean I was 16. I didn't have a huge bankroll, and I just.
We understand. 16-year-old.
Okay, I had absolute game worn 3 color patch out of 25. I had an orange prism, I think. I had a silver 9.5. I had a gold standard triple jersey auto. I had a nice little collection.
Right. Wow, and it worked out. Okay. Lastly, with you in prospecting your thingy, do you think that Devin Booker win kind of justified all the L's you've picked?
No, not even close.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because I wasn't buying a lot of cards of all these guys, a little 1 or 2 cards here, another card here, but Devin Booker I maybe bought 5 cards, over 5 to 10 cards, nice quality cards at the time, and those it still doesn't cover all the losses. It still doesn't get there. So
humble. I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving.
All right. Now, we got the LaMelo Ball of this past year, and then 2021. My man, Cade Cunningham, is going to be a Detroit Piston. If I haven't learned my lesson enough, I'm going to learn it again because I'm going to put a lot of money into Cade Cunningham. I know long term the value isn't going to be there, but I'm just excited because the #1 pick, Detroit Piston, and I can't wait. to prospect on Cade Cunningham?
Okay, I have no clue who that is.
You don't know who Cade Cunningham is?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Bro, are you even an NBA fan?
I'm not interested in rookies.
Okay,
it's a rookie show. That's so funny. We just did a whole rookie show.
All right, last segment, shout out of the week. I feel like people are sick of me talking. This is the most I've talked on a podcast. Before this podcast, Shai said, Max, this is your time to shine. I hope I didn't let people down. Also, shout out to Shine.
Okay. You definitely go first on this one.
Shout out of the week. I have to do it. The local card shop. The number 3 Kings Sports Cards on Instagram. That's my local card shop. I have to plug. Very nice people. My man Witty. At Witty Card Collection as well. Give him a follow. And also my man at card_flips with a Z at the end. These are great people. Follow them. Local card shop, Michigan. There you go.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna change my thingy. Shout out Bleecker Trading.
Oh no.
New York City. Local card shop. They got some big things cooking up, and there's gonna be some fun stuff coming up with them. We're just buttering it up. But July 6th, I think they have some. If whoever's in New York, they do have a big trade night there. I'll probably be there.
Cool. All right, everyone. That's going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do really appreciate it. The pod is growing, and we don't take anybody spending part of their day to listen to us for granted. Shai, do you have any last words?
I just want to leave it off at this. Last week's episode was actually a very important episode. Towards the end of the day, how we give shout outs. Josh Carver Chronicles shouted out 8209 Patrick, big shout out to him. But the reason he gave, I think, speaks volume. He said that like we choose accounts, promotional, or they have nice cards, or whatever. But his reason was, I think, something very different. He said that just Patrick just wanted a friend. He was just looking to say hello. You know what I mean? Like no matter where you are in life, in the hobby or in the real world, like we're still humans towards the end of the day. So small accounts, if you're looking for advice or anything, don't be shy to go even to bigger accounts, or even vice versa. Like we're still humans towards the end of the day. You know what I mean? Just show compassion, show love, and trust me, bottom line is we all have that one thing in common, the love for cards. And it's a universal language, to be honest. So different accounts, forget about all the hoopla and the drama and who has big cards, who doesn't. Like we all have a love for cards and we're all connected. So just reach out. You know what I mean? We're escaping our real friends to be in this hobby, and we're meeting new friends. And I know so many people in this hobby has made so many connections and new friends. So don't be shy. Don't be scared. Go out, reach out, network. And it's, you know what I mean? That's it. Bottom line.
I think I might have just shed a tear. Well said, my friend. The past 2 years, this pandemic would not have been the same if it wasn't for the sports car community that we all have and love. Some of my closest friends, the people who I talk to the most, I've met in the last 2 years from cards. Yes. So I think we'll just leave it there for now. Thank you all again, and we'll see you next episode of Hobby Update. Take care.
Mañana.